Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the video where we talk to Mr. Prateek Gupta, the founder of Strom. If you've not seen part 1, please go and look at it. We asked Mr. Prateek some fascinating questions about this fascinating car, the Strom, and he gave us some really fantastic answers. And I'm really excited about the car. It's 2020 now. We're very close to the launch.
So I think, we all wait and watch right now, but our closest timeline now is August, where you can have test drives. And for now, at least it's looking more or less Bombay, Pune first, and then most probably Bangalore, Hyderabad. Not a lot of people talk about, but they're very necessary. So we are tracking every moving part. We are looking at, your wear and tear on your AC system, again with your batteries, your cooling fans.
And in this video, in part 2, we are going to be asking him some rapid fire questions. We also have some community questions at the end, so stay tuned for that. Prateek, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having us here again.
Of course, it's such a pleasure for us. Okay, Prateek, rapid fire question, one-line answers, and here we go. Can the sunroof of the Strom be opened and closed?
The sunroof, unfortunately, does not open. It's mainly there to give you a very roomy cabin. So you feel when you sit inside Strom, you feel like a glass bubble, and it's mainly for giving you a better experience around the city.
Your website says that the R3 will have a 300-liter rear boot and 100-liter of storage in the front. So does that mean that we will have a frunk finally?
Yes, we will have a frunk, and it is big enough to keep a carry-on luggage, or you can put your office bag or grocery bags and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that makes me so happy. But before I get carried away, let's move on to the next question. You have 3 modes of regen: aggressive, normal, and off. Can these be configured within the car itself? How does that work?
Yes, that is configurable through the touchscreen interface. You can also create shortcuts for yourself on the screen. Like I said, the screen is very customizable, so you would be able to create your own shortcuts. As you start using the car, you'll realize all these hidden features in the software.
So that's fantastic. That means that I can turn off the regen while I'm using it on the highway where I don't need it, and I can turn it on again when I'm in the city where I can make maximum use of it. So the in-car turn-by-turn navigation system, is that based on Google Maps, or is that some proprietary software you developed?
No, we are using Google Maps so it's as seamless as if somebody shared a location on WhatsApp, with a click of a button you can send that to your car. It's all based on the same ecosystem that we've been using.
Okay, that's amazing. So there will be physical buttons to operate the AC. True or false?
False.
I'm getting more and more excited as this goes on. Oh God. Okay, next question. What can the touchscreen not do besides driving the car, of course?
The touchscreen, because of the size limitations, you can't type on the touchscreen. We've tried to make an interface where you don't have to type on your system. So you are encouraged to use gestures. So you can slide on the to increase volumes on the touchscreen. There are certain other gestures that you can add, and the most of the typing will happen either on the phone, or you might not need to type, and you can just talk to the car.
Okay. Next question. Give us an example of a voice control command.
You could say, Strom, turn on the AC at 21 degrees Celsius. So it's climate control, air conditioning, and you could just talk to it seamlessly.
Wow, that just blows my mind. Okay, so for tech guys who want to see efficiency readings in watt hours per kilometer and how efficiently they are driving and all that, can you get that information on the screen?
So yeah, on the highway speeds and stuff, you're gonna get amazing efficiency, and you can, again, these screens are customizable. They have several menus. So if you're a really geeky fellow, you can pull something up and that can be shown as a graph, or you could just have very big numbers. So there are various interface options available. Again, as we get closer to the launch date, we are going to start putting more and more screenshots and more videos around that. So I think keep watching for that kind of space.
Okay, next question. Can a customer if they want, choose between having 3 seats, bench seating, or having 300-liter boot space. I mean, not necessarily bench seating. Say you could have one more seat at the back also. But is there some kind of customization option like that?
No, the cabin area is whether currently the only option is to go for two of the bucket seats, or you can have an open seat later, after a couple of years maybe. But the storage area is completely separate. The storage area, the roof height on that one is not big enough. We also wanted to give a small seat in the back, but yeah, the way the car is built, it's not possible to do that.
Next question. Regarding the battery, what is the percentage of degradation one can expect after 4 years or 48,000 kilometers?
So I think, like I said, our numbers are showing 2.5% degradation, and that is a factor of how you drive and what are your conditions, both in terms of weather and kind of the roads that you drive on. But you should expect anywhere between 2 to 2.5%, which I think is the industry standard around the world, and that was supplied by us from the manufacturer. We've seen the same thing in our testing.
This is 2 to 2.5% degradation per year?
Yes. Say you probably will lose 23 kilometers, if I'm not wrong, after 1 lakh kilometers of driving in 5 years.
Wow.
And that is something that you can do very little about. That's just the way technology is. Maybe by in a few years we might have to change that. But that's what all lithium-ion battery chemistries are providing right now.
Yeah, the tech features that you've promised, the automatic vehicle following system, the parking assist. Just tell us quickly a little bit about that, and when can we see it?
We looked at what are the current problems when we drive in city, and I think bumper to bumper traffic becomes the number one irritant in our driving experience. So we wanted to solve that problem. The system is right now built. We have the version 2 of that, and we are under testing. And also we are trying to kind of make these as a attachable kit to existing cars. So even the current buyers will be able to install that when this technology is launched onto their current cars.
So that's the end of the rapid fire round. I think it's safe to say that my excitement has gone up 400%. Let's move on to questions before. This question is from Mr. Satish Reddy in Pune. He's saying, what about the vehicle warranty and the battery warranty? Your website says you offer a 1-year warranty. He's asking, is that a typo?
No, we've been getting that feedback quite a lot, even on our website and other social media platforms. And we do realize that it's a very low number. Again, as a company, we don't try to overpromise, under-deliver. So this is what we have right now. At the time of launch, we will be adding an additional warranty, which you can buy for not that much, extra money, which will give another 3 years additional. So the car will then be about 4 years and 60,000 complete, kilometers completed warranty. But the pricing on that is still, we're working those out with our suppliers and stuff. So let's keep waiting for that. But right now, I know that this is very low, but we're working on that.
The next question is from Mr. Sampath Kumar in Cochin. He's asking, will your 120 kilometer model cost less than 4 lakhs? And if I book the 120 kilometer model this year, when can I expect delivery?
Yeah, so the 120 kilometer car should be close to that. I cannot promise that it will be lower, but very close to that number. And in terms of timeline, I think the first 6 to 9 months, at least 70% of the deliveries in the first year will be of the 200 kilometer car. Post which we will start, putting other models on the road. In terms of timeline, it will depend on the market that you are in, where you're buying the car. But in Bombay, towards the end of first year, post deliveries, you should be able to get the 120, 160 and 200 kilometer cars.
Next question by Mr. Mayank Deo from Ghaziabad. He asks that the FAME 2 scheme does not offer subsidies for private owners. What are your thoughts on this and on the support of the government for EVs?
So as a company, we've always believed that, subsidies is not the way for Indian EV industry to grow. I think we need to get past subsidies, and we need to start actually, delivering products which are make sense without subsidies. And the way car is priced with low cost of ownership, and low cost of maintenance, I think Storm or cars like Storm will make sense even without subsidies. I think we can very well perform on our own given the product that we've made. So I think government is doing pretty good in terms of reducing GST rates on EVs and providing no registration cost, so and other things around tolls. So I think overall we are happy with how the government is supporting the EV industry. Again, they have thousand other things to take care of in terms of investing and infrastructure building. So I think we're pretty happy with what the government is doing. Especially Maharashtra government has been really at the forefront of that. So yeah, I think. We are okay with not subsidizing the private sector, at least for cars like Storm.
The next question is from Mr. KV Suresh from Noida. He is an EV veteran who's done 130,000 kilometers in his E2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a very interesting question. He says that the E2O has a DC variable speed compressor, which is more expensive to maintain and repair. And he says Maruti and other ICE cars have a compressor with an ICE engine and a pulley, and the old Reva has the same system. So the system is more cost effective than the DC variable speed compressor. My question is, what kind of AC compressor will the Storm have?
Yeah, that's very technical. I'm glad that your community is asking those kind of questions. And in terms of the choice of compressor, we are using one of the latest technologies in compressors for EVs, because as we all know, EV does not have an idling engine, so you can't have a pulley based system. Because if your car is standing, that you won't have any cooling. Using something which is come up really in the last 5 years and is used world over, and so the cars have using scroll technology for compressor, which I think is ubiquitous now around the world.
Okay, so Mr. Suresh, he has another technical question. What is the battery chemistry?
Oh, the battery chemistry. We are using NMC chemistry for batteries.
Next question is by Mr. Anubhav Kundu from Calcutta. The three-wheeler Storm is a bit unconventional. I would love a four-wheeler Storm. Do you plan to build something like that in the future?
Yeah, so we are planning to build a four-wheeler, but also we are looking at, does it make sense to make a four-wheeler? Because if you try to make a four-wheeler now, it will be as expensive or slightly more compared to our competitors. So the reason why we built a three-wheel car was mainly to reduce weight. And unless the battery chemistry or something fundamentally changes, we will not speed that up. So in our understanding, it will be at least 3 to 4 years from now when we start working on a four-wheeler platform.
So next question, Pratik. This is from Mr. Mukesh. He asks, is there the possibility of having a four-seater reverse strike sometime in the future?
Yeah, so I think we've been kind of working around that problem. The way three-wheelers are, the way the stability works is you need to have maximum weight in the front. And if you add four-seater versions with 2+2 kind of a feature, the weight starts to go towards the back. So that's why most three-wheelers, or in fact all three-wheelers around the world, are two-seater platforms. But I think that's also because we understood the market, we understood the way the market is evolving in terms of we are living independent lives, and we have some commitments that sharing a ride with 4 people overall is not a practical thing anymore. And also, the more seats you add, the more weight you'll add. You'll start going towards inefficiencies. So I think the most efficient system is a two-seater, quick turnaround car in a city, like zip around the city. So I think that's where our strength lies, and we want to kind of concentrate that.
Yeah. Okay. And Mr. Mukesh also wants to know. This is an interesting question. It's about making in India. He says, what do you think about using made in India microprocessor? So he's mentioned some Shakti processor made by IIT Madras. What do you think about using something like that in your IoT systems?
Yeah, I think if there's, I haven't come across that, unfortunately. But if we are presented with something which is made in India or made in India, designed in India, we'd be happy to take it. Till now, we've tried to work on domestication of all our components. Like our complete driveline is all made in India. So we've been working very, very aggressively on that. And if there is something that that is working at par with what we have option in the market, I think we'll be happy to take it up.
So Prateek, we know how busy you are now that the launch of the car is closed. So I'm very, very happy that you were able to spare time for this interview today. And I really look forward to everything that Strom is doing. I hope we get to meet and talk again very soon in the future.
Oh yeah, I think we are equally excited on this side. We are looking forward to interacting with especially community like yours, which is so educated and has been using EVs for a long time. And you guys have helped us, foresee some of the problems that come into play, come when people are starting using. So we use or we depend on, forums like yours to kind of bring out problems. Great congratulations to you and your entire community. I think you guys are doing a great job, and we look forward to having you guys over and start driving these cars. And so looking forward for a long relationship.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Prateek. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're as excited for the Strom as we are. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Prateek, again for your time. And see you all in the next video. Bye.
Thanks everybody.